What's going on? What's going on, man? Y'all come on in, man. Come on in. Come on in, man. Let's have a conversation right quick. Um, boy, we was gonna do this last night, but the NBA draft overtook everything. It looked like it wasn't gonna never end. But again, just come on in, have a quick conversation. Chris, you know what to do right quick, man. Tell the folks what's up before we get into it.
Hey man, how y'all feeling, man? We back at it again. Just saw y'all last night, and but definitely had to get talk about this Kyle Pitts situation. I know everybody wanted to. Folks, people were kind of chiming in on it last night while we was having the draft party. That was an on the fly draft party, by the way. We just
Yeah, just up and did it. Up
yeah,
and did it.
up and did it, man. But ultimately, I feel like it turned out good. Thank you to everybody who pulled up and showed up last night to that draft party. Stuck it out with us all the way into the end. So I really appreciate that. And you know, overall, saying the Atlanta Hawks, they did what they did. But of course, we check out the video on Hawks Digest as well. I ain't gonna lie, I was dog tired, but I was like, I gotta get this
Boy,
video.
yeah, you got to sacrifice sometime, man. You got to sacrifice. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, we had an excellent time last night. Uh, the number 8 pick, I agree with it. I agree with it. I'm gonna put a quick short out in a little while, so y'all to get my thoughts. But what's good? Let's say what's up to the chat before we get to going.
Chat.
I got 2677. What's up, my guy? He said they're
Chat.
gonna hate on the Falcons regardless of what they do.
Oh man.
What's good, Smitty? Hey, I hope all is well. Everything good, man. My boy, hailing from Augusta, man. Shout out to him. Big supporter of mine since day one, since I had like 20 subscribers. So shout out to him, man. BC White, good morning, good morning. ATL 90. What's good? Everything is good, man. We just gonna hit y'all in the face with this quick topic. If y'all been sleeping under a bed, y'all know that well, under the bed, Kyle Pitts got paid yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
look, Mark Zinno wasn't too enthusiastic about it. But as you can see, Kyle Pitts got a 3-year, $54 million contract that includes 36 million guaranteed, which means the low end of the deal is going to be only $12 million. He did get a raise, however, about 3 million because the franchise tag was 15 million. But if he don't reach those incentives, it leans a little bit back towards the 12 million. So it's not a bad deal. And you got to think they just really digging into the money that they're going to get next year. And they had 27 million in cap space. And by them getting a deal done, it kind of breaks that money up with the base salary. Most of it's going to be incentives, signing bonus, and things of that nature. But as far as base salary, I think it's going to be a little bit lower. I have to look it up, but the base numbers is going to be a little bit lower. But yes, Kyle Pitts did get a new contract. A1, right quick, your quick reaction to it.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh man, what a deal!" The 18 million. Yeah, I felt like it was a deal for him that could really satisfy him. Like you say, he gets a little pay increase. I think they're looking at those 88 receptions, close to that 1,000 yards, and was like, "Okay, we can work with this, and let's go ahead and just really solidify our core, seal up our core." He already took care of Drake, and Kyle Pitts might have. I mean, who knows? We don't know. But who knows? Kyle Pitts might was looking a little sideways, like, man, I was drafted before him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying there's any hate or anything, but just looking at the organization, like, well, shoot, I've been here. What y'all gonna do with me? And
Right.
the news dropped, what I'm saying? Like, it really came out of nowhere. I did not expect that news to drop yesterday about Kyle Pitts at all. I've been kind of sitting back waiting on Bijan Robinson.
Well, can you really say that though? Because remember what you've been saying for the last month and a half.
You know what I'm
July
saying?
gonna be here before you know it. They got to get a deal done before then. So
Yeah.
were you really surprised? I don't think you was. But go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, well, the thing about it, surprised about him that he came up before Bijan. I
Right.
was thinking that Bijan was next. So I will say that, what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Kyle Pitts was here before Bijan and Drake. So you had to take
Agreed.
care of him. You had to take care of him one way or another. Either you're keeping him or you're not. Now, I know having some thoughts, and I mean, we're having a conversation, and I know with a friend, and he had some thoughts, and it was saying like, "Hey, man, they know." I was like, "But they still can trade Kyle Pitts." I'm like, "Absolutely, they still can trade Kyle Pitts, but the likelihood of it it's just dwindled down. I even have to admit that. You know, you're giving the guy the contract, the 54 mil, 36 guaranteed, more so of a front loaded contract. I mean, the likelihood again is just it's just not up there. It's not plausible to me. I just think he's going to be out there running out there on that field, and it's not a bad thing because think about it this way: if they're giving him this money now, then I don't expect the Falcons to go out and get another wide receiver. I expect them to utilize Kyle Pitts in that type of role, and that's another reason why you kind of got that bump a little bit too. What you think?
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, and I think a lot. I said it. I've been saying it for a while. We talk about number one receiver, number two receivers, number three, and so on and so forth. But let's keep things into perspective as far as targets.
Mm-hmm.
This is what people misconstrue when we talk about one and two receivers.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out who's going to be your main target. Sometimes it's your number one receiver. Sometimes it's your number one tight end.
Right.
And in this offense that they're switching over to a run heavy, play action heavy type offense, I think Kyle Pitts is going to be even more valuable than Drake London. And I've been saying that for God knows how long. So when you look at the aspect of one and two targets, they're one and two. So you got to pay them no matter whether you want to or not. And yeah, Zachariah Branch is nice. You go get Olamide Zaccheaus, Austin Hooper, and these guys. But when you talk about top two targets, Drake London and Kyle Pitts popping in your head right off the bat. So when you talk about targets, these guys getting paid, it just made too much sense. And again, y'all got to understand, Matt Ryan put into place and he vouched for these guys. I'm pretty sure this is why these deals happen. Because look at last year, and I'm saying it on the video I'm about to drop while we talking. He knows what Drake London is capable of. Before he went out with that PCL injury, he was on pace for a career year. Kyle Pitts, Matt Ryan was his quarterback his rookie year. What does he do? 1,000 yards, nearly breaks Mike Dick's record, and he goes to a Pro Bowl. Yes, he only has one touchdown, but that was mainly because of Arthur Smith and that offense. But last year, you saw Kyle Pitts finally get back to 100%. You finally see him get a career high in touchdown with 5. He nearly has another 1,000-yard season. So his contract is solidified. But at the end of the day, Matt Ryan has a vision for this team, and these two players fit right into that vision, just like they're supposed to. And there's no knock to Bijan. There's no knock to him. But he actually has 2 years left before they have to get a deal done.
Yep.
So they're not in a rush.
Well, we talked about that beforehand. I mean, you could make Bijan wait if you wanted to. If the Falcons really wanted to and spread that money around, the Falcons can make him wait until all the way at the end of the season. That was a question that I had for Falcon fans yesterday when I dropped the video about Kyle Pitts on Falcons Digest. I ended it with spoiler, by the way. I ended it with, okay, so when are the Falcons going to take care of Bijan Robinson? Will it be before the season, mid-season, or after the season? And right now it feels like, now we can be completely wrong, or at least I could be completely wrong about this, but it's starting to feel more so like mid-season, end of season now, just to let the timeline go by and to be able to get the deal done and spread the money out even further. The dangerous thing about that is if Bijan Robinson is going off from the beginning of the season to mid-season, the numbers go up. Facts. He had another all-pro season, you know what I'm saying, and every say he goes to the Pro Bowl, all-pro, breaks a record or something like that, that number goes up. So whatever ballpark you're looking at right now, even if it is 24, let's say it's 24 per year. If that's the ballpark right now, if he goes out, you have him bet on himself. You see if he still can improve even further, and he does, you're going to pay for it in the pocket later on. Believe it. We're going from 24 to possibly 27, possibly 28, depending on what it is. You know, so when you got throwing those incentives. So like the Falcons just need to play this smart because I agree with locking up. What I do agree with is locking up your young core for the future, so you can have your weapons to build around. You know, your building block. I agree with it. But I will admit to you though, Smitty, like I agree with what the Falcons are doing with the young players. Personally, though, I probably would have let Kyle Pitts play out the contract at least maybe mid-season. Worst case scenario in the season, and then try to see if we can figure out a number from there if you guys like him. But again, so that's why, like, we talk about the news that happens, and we're not in there making those decisions, but because just we don't know what the Falcons were facing, right? We don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
We don't know if
yeah.
there was a possible trade request or anything that might have
I
been.
said that. Yeah, I said that last night, bro. We just
Yeah,
don't know.
we just don't know. But what I do know is, if it was me, I possibly would have held up, maybe would have held up on the brakes, or I possibly would have went ahead and got my running back out the way, because Bijan, again, he has already outplayed his rookie contract. Drake outplayed his rookie contract. Respectfully, I can't say the same for Kyle. Part of that mostly has nothing to do with him. Injuries happen. I still say that when he had got the PCL and the ACL and PCL or LCL injury, that wasn't on him. He was playing football. It was a low hit, but it was a bad throw. Thanks, Mariota. But anyway, it was a bad throw anyway, and then he went low to try to take Kyle Pitts out. Kyle Pitts, lost his knee. I was at that game. That just
Yeah, you was sideline. You had the front row view.
I was in
Yeah,
the booth, so I was up top, and I was watching the play. And as soon as Kyle Pitts got hurt, I said, "Man, that didn't look good." I was like, "That
yeah.
didn't."
That hyperextended knee. We knew that wasn't good. We knew
Man,
it wasn't good.
yep. And
But
then,
go ahead. Before I get to the next part, go ahead.
no, I was just saying it just tore him up, and again, that was no fault of Kyle Pitts. I still say to this day that was a bad throw.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
still, we'll see what happens, because again, you see the potential last year. It's just, can this regime, this is the question, can this regime right here get Kyle Pitts and Drake London involved consistently? Because that's something
That's
that
a
you
good
have,
question.
and that's something that people are talking about with Kyle Pitts. He's just going to disappear when Drake is out there getting all the targets, because he's out there going full speed. Kyle Pitts is going half speed. Those are some of the things that people are already saying. There's a lot of people that do not agree with this deal. It's like
Yeah,
what you got to understand it, and even if you understand it, a lot of people doesn't have to like it, and that's where we are with it. I feel like I've seen more negative comments about Kyle Pitts deal than I did about Drake.
absolutely. But before we go on, before I get into Zinno's tweet
Mm-hmm.
and get into that, I talked about a little bit on the video I'm about to drop. Well, it's dropped. It just dropped. Y'all can go check it out. But I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts on the highest paid tight ends in the league, and this is where he stacks up.
Mm-hmm.
Number one average a year is George Kittle.
Right.
4 years, 76 million, 40 million guaranteed. Then Trey McBride, who had 100 catch season last year, 76 million over 4 years, 43 million guaranteed.
Right.
So when you look at Kyle Pitts, average is at 18 million, 54 years and 3 years and 54 million. That's a tight end record for 3 years.
Right.
So that's roughly 18 million. But like I said, you have to look at it as guaranteed money, which is 12, which to me is a steal. Travis Kelce at 17.13, and number 5, TJ Hawkinson, which is an overpay, 16 and a half. So when you look at the context of those names, you look at Kyle Pitts' skill set, you look at his numbers, you look at his athletic ability, and you just look at him as a whole. To me, athletic wise, he's better than all 5 of those tight ends. Faster. To me, he needs to get better with his route running. But when you talk about athleticism and meaning up to the team, you got to pay him. If you don't pay him, like I said, trade was probably talked, and they probably talked through that to get a deal done. But to me, I said it, 18 million to 20 million was going to be the average for Kyle. We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we've got that part out the way, Mark Zinno dropped the tweet right after the signing. Y'all can see it right on the screen. It said Ian Cunningham has now paid 2 pass catchers, top dollar amount without any having any certainty at quarterback, but has yet to address the one absolute certainty in Bijan Robinson. Pause. I agree with him 200%
Yeah.
that you have to have a quarterback in place.
Mm-hmm.
However, whether you have a new quarterback next year or you have one of these guys returning next year, you got to make sure you make the right choice at quarterback. And this is why I keep telling y'all. This is why Joe Burrow name keeps coming up. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. They are not certain that they have the quarterback on the roster right now. So what do? You go out and you pay your offensive skill set positions. And that's the best thing to do. And he says it's a wait and see. Lost plot. Bijan should have been paid, but at the same time, they're not sure at the quarterback position. They're not finna overpay for Tua. They're not finna overpay for Mike Penix. Because like I keep telling y'all, if this season does not work out, new quarterback in 27, I'm just telling y'all. So they just putting their ducks in a row just in case they have to go out and pay another quarterback next year. So you put those skill positions in place before you make that move. So I get it. He doesn't agree with it, but trust me, I get it. But right quick, tell me what you think.
Well, yeah, we can get it, you know what I'm saying, but I do understand what he's saying about Bijan Robinson. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm in full agreement with Bijan, because like again, I wasn't mad about Drake. Take care of Drake, you know what I'm saying. I feel like he outlived his or outplayed his contract. I do. You know, Bijan Robinson almost came in the door outplaying his contract almost. So in that regard, I do agree. Bijan Robinson needs to get taken care of, and you need to do it quickly before somebody else leapfrogs the number that you have. Maybe you think about this as far as tight ends. Maybe they were thinking about that, but I still firmly believe that they just technically kind of paid their wide receiver number 2 without naming him the wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a tight end. So it's like I still believe in that. But you got to take care of Bijan Robinson, bro. Regardless, quarterback situation or not, it seems like they're taking care of their young core pieces. They will see what happens with Tua and Michael Penix. I don't know. I still am a believer that Michael Penix will be on this roster next year, regardless. Just that rookie contract. For me, I'm just not getting rid of that.
No, I'm just saying, as starting quarterback, they not sure.
I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. But I mean, even with the whole quarterback situation like next year, I know that this Falcons franchise do not want to draft a quarterback next year. That's something they just don't want to do because I don't want to say you're wasting a pick, because at the end of the day, like, you need a quarterback. That's the most important position on the field. But you don't want to have to keep drafting quarterbacks because you're not getting it right.
Exactly.
Aspect, because we need offensive line help. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Like next year, I can really truly see us going offensive line first round, or if it's just a wide receiver that's just playing out of his mind and he ends up falling to us, I can see that too. But quarterback, guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. I do not want to be drafting a quarterback next year. That is, again, not a wasted pick, but it's just like, okay, out of 10 picks, you like, bro, you might as well say you got 9, because you got to give 1 to a quarterback, and you still don't even know if that's going to be the guy.
Facts.
So that's why I don't want to draft one. For me, if it doesn't work out with Tua stinking up the joint, if Michael Penix just can't figure it out, which is a long shot, I believe, on both of those with the talent that we have around them as coaching. But still, let's just say that happens. I'm going after a veteran. I'm not drafting no more rookies. Or if you want to go with Jack Strand and try to give him an opportunity, okay, cool. But I don't want to draft not near another quarterback, not right now. So hopefully we'll be able to get that straight.
And y'all and I keep telling you, this is why I keep saying this, and this is why I keep stressing this. Matt Ryan is the president of football. He's a former NFL quarterback. He knows exactly what it takes to get to the championship game, to get to the Super Bowl, to have a competitive team, to build a roster the right way. And when you thinking from the mind of a quarterback, and he's been here through the ups and the downs.
Mm-hmm.
When you have missed on quarterback the last 5 years since he left, you think he gonna start over with a rookie and start all over again from the bottom?
Just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense to me.
yeah, we got Alex Van Pelt. We got a good developing staff. That I think that we have a good developing staff. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, if we have a developing staff and we have somebody that can develop quarterbacks, they're going to go get a veteran. It may not be Joe Burrow, may not be none of the guys I said, but it's going to be a veteran that can come in and step in right away and keep things on track. And that's what it's about, keeping things on track, going in the right direction. If you go out and get a rookie, I don't care if his last name Manning, I don't care if it's Dante Moore, I don't care who it is. You got to come in and develop that quarterback and help them transition to the NFL
Yeah.
before you even see any kind of peak performance from them. When you get a guy like a Dak Prescott, a Jalen Hurts, or a Joe Burrow, they already know what it takes to win. And Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl already. Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl already. So when you look at that aspect, you add that to a win now team, it only makes sense to go out and do that and keep this thing going in the right direction. Because if you don't, it's gonna fall off the rails, and then that's when things start to fall apart. And
Yeah.
look, I'm telling you, the reason why I say this again, Baker Mayfield had threw 35 interceptions in his first couple of years with Cleveland before Stefanski got there.
Mm-hmm.
Stefanski turned that around. So who's to say he go out and get another veteran quarterback and comes back with that same progress and that same aptitude to win football games with the Atlanta Falcons because they
Mm-hmm.
made a simple move just to go get a veteran quarterback. It could be just that simple. So, and like Terrence Matthews said, this is my last point. Like Terrence Matthews said, they know who they want.
Right.
So they know exactly what they're trying to do. And it's no not the Penix, it's no not the Tua, but they got to put a plan in place to have this team on the right track before the week 1 season opener against Pittsburgh. Just
Mm-hmm.
that simple. But go ahead.
No, facts. Definitely, man. And the thing about it is, it's June 24th now. The Falcons have to name a QB1 for training camp very soon. Now, are they trying to kind of wait on Michael Penix? I feel like to a degree, yeah, but also on the flip side, no, not really. They just want the best quarterback out there at the time. And again, they looking at it. We still have technically kind of 2 years, well, technically 2.5 years with Michael Penix. And the thing with Tua is on a prove it thing. Tua is more so like a bridge. So
Right.
regardless, you're gonna get like at least the best efforts. I'm assuming from both quarterbacks. Is just what are the results going to be at the end? Are we going to be looking at a playoff berth, possibly, let's say, hypothetically speaking, a first round exit, and then you have to evaluate, be like, all right, so our quarterback position, what have we done with it? What did it do? How did it perform? And so where we want to go from here as far as sticking with either Tua, stick with Michael Penix, and then just putting a line around him because he's still on that rookie deal. You got a couple of years. You can pick up that 5th year option, so of course get that extra year. So again, I don't think that regardless, I don't think the Falcons want to draft another quarterback because again, that's a whole other process. If it doesn't work out with these two guys, well, in particular, Michael Penix, because I still believe, regardless of what happened with Tua, we're not going to pay him big money. I don't think. Um,
I think it's just a one and done anyway. It's just a bridge guy. That's what I think. You just got to have a veteran president in that quarterback room, and we know Trevor Simeon isn't that dude.
yeah, that's not it either. So my thing is, I like Trevor Simeon on the team because you think about that veteran presence. He's seen a lot in this league, especially being a guy that has moved around a little bit. You see, well, one thing about a journeyman quarterback, yes, he's bouncing around, but think about this: he's bouncing around to different organizations. So if he has played for 8 different teams, he's seen things done the good way, the bad way, the questionable way, and the what the heck way. So it's just
Right.
like come in and kind of like, and then he's been in situations or seen guys in situations that like, hey, I recognize this. Let me give you some help with that. Or hey, calm down in this situation. You can help all those quarterbacks because Simeon has been around longer than every other quarterback that we have on the roster.
Right.
Regardless. So what I'm saying, outside of Matt Ryan, That's the only one who has really more football knowledge and experience than Trevor Siemian right now. So that's another thing that we have to take into account. And Simeon was hurt all OTAs as well. They expect him to be there for Falcons training camp. So we'll see what happens with that. I still believe that Jack Strand is nipping at his heels, especially being able to have the chance to throw. So it's interesting with the quarterback position. But Mark Zinno, let me go back to this comment I want to catch real quick about Mark Zinno.
All right.
Mark on Mark. It says Zeno don't get it. Bowers and Warren will turn the tight end position upside down while we playing tag with Pitts. Ian made a smart move. And this right here is also a thing that you got to look at it as perspective. Because yes, think about it when those two guys do come up for their deal. Now we're starting to get into the range to where you're paying tight ends legit $20 million or
jump
beyond.
ahead of the curve. Yeah, you got to.
So, yes, again, like because both guys are ballers. Brock Bowers, go Dogs. But for those who know about them, we already know about Brock Bowers. But and then Warren,
25 million.
Yeah,
right
bro,
off top.
I'm just saying. And then especially if you're sticking with the Raiders gonna have to pay. So I'm just being honest. They're gonna have to pay this man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if the Colts, if they don't straighten up, they heading in the same direction. You want me to
with
stay?
Warren, right?
Yes, you want me to stay, you're going to have to pay. So, when you look at it like that from that perspective, getting ahead of the curve, we talked about the whole thing even with Drake's contract. Drake is number 3 technically, but technically he's number 9 in money. And also with Drake London, somebody's going to leapfrog Drake and fall right in between that little gap, little $5 million gap that they have between him and Jamar Chase. It's going to be players going to fall right into that gap, and he's not even going to be that high. Same thing is going to happen with Kyle Pitts. George Kittle is not going to be the highest tight end paid for all time for the remainder of his career. Somebody's going to leapfrog George. Somebody's going to leapfrog Trey, and in doing all that, that means they're leapfrogging Pitts as well. So, perspective, I like that perspective, man. You just got to think about it sometimes.
Facts. Boy, let's get it. Said I was one of the few people that said Matty Ice was not gonna let KP walk out the door. True. Guarantee you he has a big part of KP getting his bag, and I said the same thing. And y'all let's get it. Go to YouTube, check him out. Let's get it, GA. But me and him had that conversation about a month and a half ago. If Kyle Pitts stays, it's gonna be because of Matt Ryan. And I said that earlier. And you got to look at it too, as like I said, when Matt Ryan has a plan in place, him and Ian Cunningham, they're going to stick to it no matter what we the fans think. If they got a plan in place and they think it's going to work, that's the plan they're going to follow. It's just that simple.
Yeah, that's
right. But Razor Boy said, okay, so I know Penix has been here a while and the last staff didn't give him any chance. But why doesn't it come across in the media presses that Penix has that? Is it me or else? Mentally for the quarterback spot? He has it mentally. Y'all got to understand when a coaching staff do not put you in a position to develop, it's going to slow your growth and it's going to throw you off track. On top of that, he's had another knee injury. So you have to be strong mentally to come back from an injury. Trust me, I know. You have to be mentally strong. But at the same time, by you being mentally strong, you got to catch up with a new system. You got to get to the coaching staff, get on the same page with them, look at film, and you just basically start all over again. So this is why I say if they let him take his lumps that first year, just make him the outright starting quarterback, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. But they tied each other's wrist by going out and get a guy that wanted to come in and start, and you draft a quarterback that you think is going to sit for 2 seasons, then come in third year and play, but it didn't work out that way. And when it don't work out the way you plan, again, it puts you a little bit behind the 8 ball. So it's nothing against him. It's just that the last coaching regime just did not develop him properly.
Shoot, they weren't developed properly though, bro. Like you can't develop somebody properly when you're not even properly.
Facts.
I'm just saying, you bringing in a guy who's a first timer against another guy who's a first timer in the league, and you trying to move the guy, those two guys together But again, that's why I was talking to Falcon fans yesterday, and they were just like, "Did you ever feel like that Michael Penix was their guy?" And I said, "Heck no." I said, "No." Michael Penix was a luxury item. Their guy was Kirk Cousins, 180 million. Remember, you know what I'm saying? It's a player coach also, because we need you to help coach up our coordinator who's not even ready, but we're going to put him in this situation anyway because of the head coach decide that was the decision that he decided to make. You
Yeah.
know, and regardless, nobody stepped in front of him, which you don't want to step on toes because that can ultimately lead to something else blowing up. But at the end of the day, man, Michael Penix was not dealt the best hand. And again, it's not just Michael Penix. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's less talent and not even, in light years, what I'm saying, stratospheres away from each other, Desmond Ridder didn't even have a good chance.
Facts.
Regardless, he was a third round quarterback and everything like that. But even think about it, he needed even more tutelage, and we just wasn't able to give it to him either.
And that's the importance of having the right offensive staff around your quarterback. This is why we keep having this conversation. People ask me in the street all the time, what happened with the quarterback situation? The thing that happened, you don't have a guy on the staff that could develop a quarterback. And Raheem Morris lied to us and say he had 10, 15 coaches that know how to, coach a quarterback. And that was a lie. But let's be real, Chris. The last time we had anybody that could even close resemble a developing a quarterback was Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
That was the last person.
Yeah, some people made but of course he had to grow, because some people would say Steve Sarkisian now, but of course he had to grow into what he is now in Texas. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And also you think about this with the whole situation with Penix. To be honest with you, fam, I know Tua and everything like that with the accuracy and all that stuff like that. And now I'm speaking how I personally feel. I just feel like, man, at the end of the day, if you give Michael Penix an opportunity, he's going to do some good with it. I just feel like first of all, for me, I like stories of overcoming. I just feel like, man,
redemption stories. Yeah.
I just feel like Tua don't want it as bad as Michael Penix wanted, man. And I'm not saying that he doesn't want it. I think he does want it. I just feel like Michael Penix wanted a little bit more because he's had to sit on the sidelines multiple times, letting other guys be in front of him, other veteran guys letting him be in front of him, had to be behind Kirk. Now you're in danger to be behind Tua. I just think if they give Michael Penix an opportunity, Michael Penix can possibly, show up finally for the Atlanta Falcons. It's just all about the health. I know with the knees, but again, I tell people all the time, I am more afraid if you're talking about between the two quarterbacks, I am more afraid of what could happen to Tua than I am with Penix.
Right.
Right. I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be funny, but he is the wrong head slap away from, I don't know.
Being on IR again and ending his career. Totally agree.
All right.
Totally agree.
You got to be fair, because a lot of people try to jump on Penix and his knee injuries. He had multiple knee injuries, man. That knee ain't going to hold up. Okay. It's the brain cells going to hold up. It's the mental factor going to hold up with Tua. When he take that first real hit, is all that stuff going to factor in. So you can find faults with both quarterbacks. You can't just pick one quarterback and say, yeah, that's what's wrong with him. Let's go with the other guy. Both guys have concerns, which is another reason why there are some Falcon fans that leapfrog both guys and go right to Jack Strand.
Yep. And see, and this the thing, and I said this a couple of weeks ago. What if Jack Strand ended up panning out and you don't have to go draft a quarterback or go sign a veteran? You have him for another 3 years on a purely minimum contract of $1 to $2 million. So if they're going to go a young quarterback, they're going to develop that quarterback that's already in the quarterback room. They're not going to go out and draft a top quarterback anymore. Like you said, you made a great point. You got to go start looking for Jake Matthews' replacement, because if they don't work out, that's the quarterback's blind side. So you got to move. I don't care where you finish this year. You got to go find somebody to protect your future quarterback's blind side, because Jake is long in the tooth, and on the right side, you got a question mark as well. So offensive line to me has got to be a necessity. And also, you got Chris Lindstrom coming up for a new contract, and he's going to be 28 to $30 million easy.
Well,
So
shoot.
these are
Even
go ahead.
more than that, though, bro, you have two guys that you have to worry about signing this year. Either
Right,
Ryan Uziel or let him walk, or Matthew Bergeron or let him walk. So the line is very important. That's why I said yesterday, and I'm gonna say it again here today. I believe Falcons go offensive line, the best offensive lineman in first round. It's going to be similar to that draft where we took Lindstrom and McGarry. We're going offensive line because again, Jake Matthews is longer in the tooth. Could he play 2 or 3 more seasons? I think
absolutely.
I think that's on Jake. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what about that right side? What about that right side that's the blind side of our quarterbacks right now because we're they're left-handed? What about Matthew Bergeron? Do you like him at left guard? Or are you trying to move him to left tackle? Me personally, I want to, if you go to left tackle, you got to make sure you get a bona fide guy that's going to be beside him because he's held down that left tackle position. And then
Right,
Ryan Luzel. We're talking about Michael Penix, right? Well, Michael Penix, the guy that he knows and is most comfortable with is Ryan Newsel because think about it, when Dahlman and Kurt was in the way, those two was working together with the second team. And then they
right.
were starters last year. So that's another thing too. How does Michael Penix feel about Ryan Newsel if he is the guy, calling Michael Penix the guy? How does he feel about Newsel? Would he want Newsel? Would Brockenmeyer overtake Newsel? Those are just
Good
different that you think about.
possibility.
I like Brockenmeyer, especially, and they say he's undersized, but him and Ryan Newsel around the same weight,
Yep,
around
yep,
the same height. And Ryan
yep.
Newsel maybe like 10 pounds heavier, but that's about it.
And what factors into what you're saying with the offensive line? They brought in Bill Callahan. They
Mhm.
brought in more offensive linemen this offseason than undrafted free agents and free agents. So they're already looking towards the future with all of these positions. But again, Drake and Pitts are the number 1 and 2 targets that they have to lock down because if you're gonna go out and make a move at quarterback, they got to have somebody to throw to. They got to. Just that simple. Just
Yeah,
that simple.
got to, bro.
Q, what's up, man?
What's happening, family?
Tay said right quick. As a number 1 Pitts advocate, I'm glad glad he's back, got his money. I knew Ryan was gonna pay Pitts. I knew they were going to pay the big three. And yeah, I mean, we got look, when you have 3 superstars on your offense and you able to pay them, do it while you can. Because gradually as time goes on, those numbers are gonna go up. In
Mhm.
2 years, we won't even be thinking about how much money they done got paid. Because the cap will have went up twice.
Yeah. And
Just
guys,
saying.
leapfrog our guys. I'm telling you right now, you see what the money is, but in about 2 years, just about all our guys are going to be leapfrogged. Bajan may be still up at the top, but I expect Drake to get leapfrogged in the next 2 years, and the same thing about Kyle. So the money, I get the money aspect of it. But and again, also remember there were about 7 extensions that the Falcons had to look over. They got two. Oh, and Bajan Robinson isn't even included in that. Bajan would have made 8, but you got Kyle Pitts out the way, so you got 8 out the way. You also got 5 out the way. So okay, those 2 guys are gone. The luxury will be Bajan Robinson. But guys who deals are coming up right now, I already talked about Ryan Newsome. You got Zach Harrison. What are you going to do with Jesse Bates, Divine Diablo? Yeah,
Right.
and so it's just you got those names right there. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to bring those guys back? You got to have money for other guys too. I still want to pour into this defense. I'm not going to lie to you, Smitty, as far as like keeping different pieces around. Zach Harrison, I think he's going to have a big year. He was already, I said it last year that he was going to have a good season. He was
He
on
was
that,
on his way. Yeah,
and
he
then
was on his way.
and then. But but regardless, I think he's going to come back fierce. Again, Matthew Bergeron, that's the other extension that you have to think about. So there are still other guys that need to get taken care of. But somebody I think is going to get left out in the rain. 1 or 2 guys now at this point, even though, yes, we do have cap space. But one thing that we're not talking about, yeah, we're taking care of some of the homegrowns, and that's great. what about some of those guys that we want that we're looking at from other teams, and we can be like, hey man, come on, be a part of this. So you still got
Yeah.
to have some type of money for possible free agents. You can't sign everybody. So I'm wondering who will be left out in the rain about this. But I definitely don't
But
see.
but honestly, I think we'll know the answer to that question after this season. Some of those questions we're just gonna have to wait because, like you said, a
Yeah,
lot of these players on prove it deals on their last year. It's just that simple.
leg, man.
Just that simple.
And we can
But
with all this competition too for training camp, that which we're all gonna, be able to see. By the way, man, if y'all ain't getting y'all training camp tickets, I don't know what y'all doing. August 1st is already sold out. Like there is no tickets for August 1st left, and that is what like the family together or bringing together Saturday.
yeah,
Like
back together, or something like that. Yeah,
that Saturday. So yeah, that's already sold out. A couple of other dates I believe are starting to get a little thin too. So man, y'all make sure y'all go check out the Falcons if you get an opportunity, man. I understand people got to work because a lot of these training camp days are on work days. So I
yeah,
get but yeah, man, try to get out there if you can.
yeah. But another great quick pop up show.
Yeah,
We
man.
had to come talk about it because I mean y'all wanted our opinion, but y'all can go to my page right now and check out my thoughts on
Mhm.
Mark Zinno's rants. And like I said, I agree with him to a certain extent, but at the same time, if no matter who's at quarterback, they got to have somebody to throw the ball to.
Right.
Just that simple. Just that simple. But if you ain't got nothing else to say, man, tell everybody where to find you.
Hey man, A1 Forever Sports, that's the platform on YouTube. Come over, like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the A1 family. You can go ahead and just type it in right now. If you're not subscribed, A1 Forever Sports, it'll pop right on up, and you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, be a part of it. Also, Hawks Digest. Yeah, man, Hawks got themselves a Kingston Fleming. And they also got an edger for as well. So Hawks are kind of trying to poise themselves, but they still feel like they need more help. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about it. Free agency is in about 6 days, June 30th, I
Uh,
believe.
yeah, June 30th.
So, yeah, just look out for that. Come on, be a part of Hawks Digest. Same thing for Falcons Digest. Dropped a video over there about Kyle Pitts as well yesterday, talking about some figures and everything as well. So, be a part of the Falcons Digest family as well. Twitter, A1 Forever. Instagram, A1 Forever. The real A1 Forever on TikTok. As always, without y'all, there is no show. So, we appreciate the ones who were able to
Facts.
come here today and, chop it up with us a little bit. Oh, okay. Big Q said he got a little something for the check out.
Appreciate you, Q. Appreciate you. Just send it to A1 because he good with that kind of stuff. I can't mess with it.
Okay, yeah.
I put together the video. He'll add the music. So yeah, he may do the whole thing, but he good at that stuff, not me.
Oh yeah, man. Just
Well, we
say
appreciate you, my guy. But yeah, man, another great pop up show, man. We had to come through and talk about it. Catch me right here on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Also catch me at Fatboy Slim _21 on Twitter. I'm over there blowing that thing up. Always, you can catch me on Instagram at AN2WON, and you can catch me on TikTok at Smitty Sports Machine. But yeah, man, another great pop up show, man. Again, if y'all haven't checked out the NBA Draft Watch Party show, please go check it out. Check out our thoughts on the number 8 pick, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy it. But
oh yeah.
again, great pop up show. Thank A1 for taking time out of his schedule. I know you've been busy this morning, but had to come through and talk to y'all. But again, until we see y'all on the next pop up show or the next live stream, Friday, don't forget to tune in Friday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Chuck Smith stops in, Atlanta Falcons legend, stops in to talk pass rush, Atlanta Falcons football, and he may take a couple of questions. So y'all make sure y'all bring the questions for him.
yes,
But
sir.
we gonna have a blast, trust me. But quick pop up show, man. Time to get to work, man. Get our day going. And
Right.
if something breaks, y'all know we got y'all. But like Chris said, man, go over to Hawks Digest, Falcon Digest, A1 Forever to check him out and keep hyping us up, liking and subscribing out to our channel and videos. We appreciate y'all, and we're gonna roll on out of here, man. Cause yeah, I eat chicken wings in the middle of the day too.
He does.
Peace.